So I heard this story, and I want Lucas to help me out, because I heard this story about a young man. He's not even young, oh my gosh, he's 50 years old, who still lives with his mother. And on occasion will tell his mom on the weekend, please just find another house to live in, because I want to do a few things with my friends in this house, or I want to have a party in this house, or I want to have XYZ person over this weekend. Believe it or not, 50-year-old man living with his mommy. Like, seriously? In fact, when I heard this story, I was like, oh my God. How do I make sure that my children are grow into successful, independent, interdependent is okay, but independent young people who become successful adults? I mean, how is it that somebody, a grown man who's older than you, Lucas, still lives in his mother's house?
You know, Rina, the thing is this: how you bring up your kids is very important. Parenting is actually the parent's responsibility, isn't it? You cannot give that away. So you find it still at home because he was never taught, maybe when he was young. Maybe something else happened in between that maybe forced him to go back, and now he stayed with the mother. But that aside, it goes back to what we were discussing about the core values. There are actually 3 types of education. Okay. The first one we have touched on a bit, which is the core values. The second one is the theoretical, which you go to school and you learn and you get your degree and so on. Okay. The third one is the wisdom, which you learn through failure and experience. Okay. So there's a life wisdom. So
core values.
Theoretical,
which you go to school for.
Yes.
And the third one
is the life wisdom.
Okay.
Which you learn through mistakes and making mistakes within life. Mentors also come in at that stage to teach you, don't go this way, And if you don't have someone to mentor you also, you'll make those mistakes. Yeah. But somehow there are people who became successful in their old age. One is that fellow Charles Darwin of Origin of Species. He was at 50 when he wrote that. There was Samuel Jackson, the actor. He was at 43 when he got his break. So there are people who success, so to speak, comes later. But it needs a wake-up call for you to analyze yourself as a person and say, really, at 50, should I be living in my mother's house? What is the problem here? But you'd find that without these core values, some of these people will still not see anything wrong with it. Yeah. So as a parent, make sure that you install the right values and principles and ethics to your kids. They're your children. And when your child asks you why, you must explain why and tell them. Because they're actually asking you from a position of innocence and that they want to learn and understand, why should I do this? And it's up to you at that time to kick in and say that, yes, I'm telling you to do these chores so that you learn how to work, because you will need this in future. You understand? Don't just say, don't ask me why. Do as I say. Don't, So you must explain. Take your child at that level of innocence where you have to work with them all throughout so that they can learn the values and learn the rights and wrongs about life. And these are the basic pillars, the core values that we're talking about, that will propel them to that next level.
Yeah. Wow. Take responsibility is what you're saying as a parent to ensure that your children have the right core values or manners. The right education is important, but more important is wisdom, so that they can make the right decisions.
And wisdom, when you're still young, you can make those mistakes because you learn. You learn that, look, I tried doing this, and don't reach until you're 50, then you're experimenting with your pension to do certain things and you lose it all. And you're finished from then onwards. So when you're young, you can experiment on these things which you want to do.
Yeah.
So you can get this life wisdom.
And sometimes
which is
we
very
don't
key.
get it. And I think I want us to cover that in proper detail, yeah? So stay tuned, guys, because I want us to look at the seasons, times and seasons of life. Sometimes we think we can flow into things, you know, you're 50 there and you're still going out with the boys and going to Chumila, I don't know where, and, you know, you're 20 and you want to start driving a car that is as big as the house. I mean, there's times and seasons for things, and I think I want us to discuss that in our next video. So please subscribe and stay tuned. This is Rina Hicks, and you're on MoneyWise, where we create, grow, and preserve wealth.